when I'm going to set myself up as well as the horse up for success on the ground. So when I'm in the saddle, it's a party. Okay? So I am going to wait for him to get this little, I should say the halters. I can take that stick from me. This is what I do with these sticks, by the way. They're fancy, they're wonderful, but they should be left here. Okay? The reason is, if I choose to do things with horses in a saddle, I'm going to do it on the ground here first. If I'm not doing it on the ground, I'm not going to do it on the saddle. Reasoning being is, when I'm riding, I'm not going to ride with that stick because I should understand the 4 quarters now, practice together so he understands what I'm looking for, and that by the time I'm sitting and riding, I don't need all that stuff. I personally do not use spurs. I don't use bats, whips, and anything else. I actually ride with this setup. I make it a set of reins. The understanding for the horse and human is there, and it makes it easier. All right. I have certain sets of steps that I put together here that by the time they come together, each one's going to marry into each other. So by the time I'm up in the saddle, it makes sense. All right? Yeah, you can take that extra one off. I do not use buckles underneath because if you come down hard enough, I know people use it for weights, but the thing is, I don't, because if you clock too hard, you can actually break that little bone that holds their tongue in their mouth. And I'm not going to chance that by any means. And if I need a horse to get out of my space, I'm going to ask them to come out of my space. Not tell them, and not really get harsh about it. All right? You guys all ready to set up nice? Awesome. Yes? Helmets? Yeah. Take your time. Of course. All right. Anybody's idea, or what's your impression of natural horsemanship, just out of curiosity? There's no wrong or right answer. It's your interpretation. Yell it out. Anybody's idea what they think natural horsemanship is?
Overused term.
That's correct. Anytime that we humans are involved with horses, there is nothing natural about that in the first place, okay? The word was used because it's supposed to be with a soft, gentle touch or an easy feel. Personally, like I said, I call it communicating in a language that they understand. Okay? That's really my impression. So that's what that is. Partnership should be just that. Partnership is a team. It's not, there's no letter I in the word team. Okay? Horses naturally give. They want to impress you. We take and demand. All right? So if we strive to leave that outside the time that we're with our horses, you'd be amazed, really truly amazed, of discovering the horse that you never knew. It's a pretty interesting concept. So, first thing I do is an introduction. I don't invade my horse's space. Because if I'm invading my horse's space, they live what they learn, they're going to invade my space, which means pushing into me, walking me out the arena, any of that. Any of that really rushy, jiggy kind of feeling that you have with your horses, if that be, that is because you probably one time or another forgot or just was in a rush, got in there and said, okay, I'm going to put this halter
teach them how to do that?
in your face. And the horse is like, whoa.
Teach you how to do what?
So I personally, now mind you, I have never met these horses before. I've never touched them. Matter of fact, I don't even know who they are. I do that specifically because to bring my horses in here, they, you know, it gets boring and they just know it already, and it's cheating in my respect. My only feeling. So if I'm going to go up to a horse in a matter of absolutely nowhere, not just your round pen, not your paddocks, but if I'm in a natural herd in 100,000 acres, can I walk up to this horse and him offer a hello? Will this horse accept me as a herd member? Because that's the whole idea. So I'm going to say, what's this horse's name? This is Maddie, everybody. Maddie's cute. She's going to show herself off for a minute. You can just turn her face. Maddie, yes, you're beautiful. And bring her over here for a minute. And stop. Thank you. So So Maddie and I have never met each other before, so I'm going to say hello to Maddie. Now, I approach a horse straight on. Why? Because of monocle vision. Both eyes see the same thing, or they see two different things at the same time. Forgive me. And because of that, I want both eyes' attention on me. I don't want to go on her side when I say hello to a horse, because then she can go to dodge and see you later, honey. I prefer a hello. When horses meet each other from paddock to paddock, new herd to new herd, show to show, what's the first thing a horse does? Does anybody know? When two horses meet for the first time, they touch noses. That's an international hello. Okay, so why don't we simulate that to our horses? What a concept. So I'll say hello to Maddie. I'll go up. My demeanor is not charging. I will always ask you to close your palm, because this is threatening, this is warm. Let them touch your hand. You're going to come to about an inch before their nose and let them touch you. 9 times out of 10, when this is the first time you're saying hello to your horse, they'll say, what? So you back off and you do it again. This is where patience comes in here. Okay? So, Maddie, good morning, Maddie. That is a horse hello. Okay? So I would like you to try that. I know you're connected to the lead line, but hold it quiet in one hand and just walk to them and ask them to say hello. Now, are you at her nose or underneath? Underneath the muzzle is right about, I'll show you again, it's right there. Okay, so underneath, I want you to back up and try again. She may feel that you might be a little threatening. Stop. Whoop. And just offer a hello with your hand. Close your hand. Now back up just one step. Right there is good. And I want you to lower your demeanor. I know it's hard for guys to do this, but just pretend you're meeting a girl for the first time. And you're like, all right, I'm going to open a door. What's the first thing you do? Walk right in, right? So you're going to lower your demeanor in that same kind of manner. You just come below. Let her come to you. Let her wait to see if she'll come to you. She's not sure. And mind you, a horse is a mirror of the handler. So just because I can do it, she's like, she talks horse, no problem. It doesn't mean that it'll never happen. It'll just take more time, because she really needs to believe him. Okay? And even if I could do certain things with each horse, it doesn't make a difference. Because when I leave for the day, what's important is the connection between the horse and the handler. All right? And this could change for different, I see, Maddie. It could change from horse to horse and rider to rider. It's important every time that you say hello. And what is your name? And Jasmine, what is your horse's name? Reality. I would like you to try the same. I would like you to go in front of your horse, step out, right hand that's holding the hello, and I want you to offer a hello. At the same time, you can do it too. This will take a lot of time. Huh. How many times do you think you've ever done that? Oh, look at that. Very nice. And believe, by the way, talk to your horses. I know that sounds silly, but quite honestly, they understand everything we say. And somebody said to me one time, a long, long time ago, that horses do not understand English. Well, or language. We don't either. Actually, our brain registers sounds. Guess what? So does a horse. All right, so you could be speaking German, you could be speaking English, Mexican, and so forth. It's not the language. It is the sound of each letter that registers to our brain. Sorry. So, once we've got a hello, did you get a nice hello? And you know what? Look for that teeny tiny little minuscule change. We look for the grandeur at the end, the light at the end of the tunnel. If you do that, you're going to get this, 0. If you think with no anticipation, walking in there and saying, you know, if I get her to look at me, I'm awesome. Because the next day, you're just growing and growing and growing. Before you know it, it's there. Okay? So, we've got a hello, which is interesting. If you have a horse who follows you, now, in her mind, she's made the decision to follow you. You didn't ask her. This is going to be great. I like this. This is a wonderful little tool. This is all I use. For the reason of, it's 12 feet long, okay? If a horse decides to get a little bit nutsy, by all means, because they're scared, I can get out of their way and be safe. okay? I don't need to be under here where they can't see, all right? Horses' importance of them is this, their eyes. Their eyes, we know their depth perception is horrible. In dark, it's a little bit better, but otherwise, not so good. Their ears are registered to be able to hear their sonar of a bat, okay? Their sensories, which is their sense of smell or their feel, they actually can feel barometer change. They can even sense a mare 5 miles away in heat, okay? Their sensories as far as their skin, of their nerve endings, are quite unique because they can flick a fly off of them anywhere independently. We're reactionary. If a fly comes by, we're like, whoa, get it away. So, quite unique, if you ask me. So, if a horse is going to follow, and I ask you to step out for 1 second, and I want you to watch this, because if she invades you, or he invades you, by all means, I didn't ask this horse to come and follow me. I'm just going to ask her to stand there. Now, the only time that I simulate this is that if I was a mare, and she was my foal, okay, and or a little filly, I wouldn't want her to be backing up into me. I wouldn't want her to invade my space. A mare would probably swish her tail, or push with her nose, okay? I'm not going to bite, kick, and swish my tail, but this becomes a mare's tail, all right? So if this little horse decides to follow me, and I'm just going to challenge her, I'm going to ask her, I'm not going to be malicious to her, I'm going to see if she'll do it. Here we go.
I had him right here.
Let her think. What's just happened? I just need to stand there. I don't need anything, and that's as easy as it gets. Now, somebody told me, well, you got to make them head shy. No, you don't. No, you don't. What it is because this halter is so loose. Okay, it's equivalent to somebody going, excuse me. I don't need her to move. She could just hang there and relax. I'm going to be the nurturing leader. The best thing for her is that all she has to do is keep an eye on me. Life is wonderful. Okay? So if she invades you and follows you when you didn't ask her, but first ask her to stand. If she follows you, then it's out, out, out. That word out should be used only, not back. Remember, what you ask for is what you're going to get.